Today is officially Blue Monday, which is supposedly the most depressed day of the year. Now, how can we lift our spirits? How can we have something to look forward to? I think I've got the right guy on the other end of this line to be able to help us. And that's Paul Nelson. And Paul is a former travel journalist and now a travel expert with the World Travel Market. Paul, good morning and thanks for your time.
Good morning.
I guess the first question, why is this officially Blue Monday? What makes it that awful title?
It's like coming back from Christmas, it's the first day back of the third week of work.
Yeah.
It's wet and dark and grey, and we've had the snow. And
you've convinced me, Paul. I'm going to put myself down. I guess the other thing, what services does World Travel Markets? It's not a term I'm familiar with. Can you just tell the listeners what it does?
Of course. So World Travel Market is an event takes place every November in London, and it's a trade event. But we get more than 50,000 of the global travel industry's most senior execs come over. So that's from the hotels and the tourist boards, the travel agents, and the airlines as well. And they all come over and they basically discuss and sign contracts. And it's those contracts that are the holidays that you and I will go on this summer and next summer and the summer after. So probably the easiest way to describe it for your listeners is it's the kind of the version of London Fashion Week for the travel industry. So, you'll see a design on the catwalk and then it will be in the high street shops in a few weeks' time. And that's exactly what World Travel Market is. So everyone comes over, they discuss the deal, sign the contracts, and it's those contracts and those holidays that are in the brochures and on the websites and in the travel agencies for us all to enjoy for the next year and beyond.
Now, clearly, a lot of people tend to look for holidays in January just to get over that depressing blues of our weather. Are we increasingly going away in what is known as the winter period? Does the travel industry see a surge at that time?
Yeah, very much. I mean, Christmas is very popular for those people that are able to get away. Yeah, if you can, over Christmas and New Year. I've done a few Christmas and New Year trips before, and that is growing in popularity. If you're in a position where you're able to do that and you're able to afford it as well, I guess, then it is becoming very, very popular. But on the main, where the tour operators and the travel agents and the hotels, etc., where they really make their money is during those 6 weeks of the school holidays.
There's an ever-going debate about that they're always increasingly priced at that time. Is that true? Is it more expensive to go away during the school time?
It is very much so. I mean, I'm not here to defend the practices of the industry, but I can explain kind of why that's the case. So the travel companies don't make any money during the winter. So if you look at some of the big companies' financial balance sheets, during the winter, they're millions and millions of pounds actually in debt.
Wow.
And it's a success of those 6 weeks during the school holidays where they make practically all of their money. So it's those holidays during the 6 weeks that have to supplement the holidays that people are having outside of that peak period. So, it's unquestionably the holidays do go up during those 6 weeks, but there is a kind of a valid reason for that.
Are we increasingly, Paul, going all-inclusive? They've become incredibly popular this last few years. Are we increasingly going down that route?
We are. No, we are very much so. I mean, it all happened when you had the global financial downturn. Yeah. We all felt, we didn't quite have as much money and we didn't feel as financially secure as we did before. And the travel companies had to respond to this. And the way that they did that was to increase the number of half-board and all-inclusive holidays that was on offer, because that was the way that we were able to budget more for our holidays, and it enticed us a lot more to actually spend that money, because we felt we were budgeting better than what we were before, where obviously we were just spending probably for the room and the flight and then for breakfast, and then you had to pay for your other meals separately. So that obviously increased the cost of the holiday, and that's continued as we've got more and more used to it. We might now still feel financially a little bit better off than we did a few years ago, and the economy might be getting better, but still, we've got used to these all-inclusive holidays, and they're the ones that we're going on. I booked one myself actually last week.
I would have thought they're very attractive to families, which leads me on to the next question, because they don't have to worry what the children spend, other than from a dieting point of view. But they don't have to worry. Kids can go and enjoy themselves. As part of the all-inclusive, are we increasingly seeing family facilities being provided so kiddies can enjoy themselves as well as the parents and free up the parents' time?
Yeah, very much so. If you look at it, it's a complete holistic approach to tour operators. So yeah, it's about not only about making sure it's all inclusive from a food and drink perspective, but also the activities. Because when kids go on holiday, they don't want to spend all their time with the parents, and the parents don't probably want to spend their time with the kids. So the kids need to be in a safe environment, an environment where they're able to enjoy themselves, and equally for the parents as well. So the options that are available when families are in resorts are very much holistic and cater for everybody.
We seem to be increasingly, and this is not just the young, wanting to go on holidays where there's a degree of, or I can put safe risk around what we do, something to excite us, something to challenge us. Is that a growing market as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that, as you say, we all want some different experiences. We all want to visit new destinations, and probably one of the trends for this year is much more long-haul destinations. So we're seeing some really popular long-haul destinations, and this summer will be probably the launch for quite a few of them. So you're right, yeah, we want that, obviously, that safe risk when we go away. Obviously, when you're outside of the country, it feels you want to make sure you're safe, but also you want to kind of enjoy yourself. So yeah, no, you're definitely right there.
I guess the opposite question to that is the world is increasingly a dangerous place to be in, and I don't want to overplay that, but is that affecting people's decisions, so where they're going, where they feel they can have that dangerous intent, but they feel safe as well, going to safe countries, I guess?
Yeah, it's more affecting what the industry does. So, there's obviously some problems in, say, some of the Middle Eastern and North African countries, and they've traditionally been very popular destinations and destinations that have been growing in popularity. But the travel industry itself has had to respond to those problems. So you're seeing lots of capacity being moved away from those countries and to the safe short-haul destinations that we all know and love, such as Spain and Portugal, and also to a number of these long-haul destinations that we're really expecting to see boom this summer.
So in terms of 2016, what are the top tips? Where are people indicating that they would want to go? As I understand it'll be Spain and all that. What the other places are? Is it America or where?
Well, some of the long-haul destinations that will be popular are places like Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah, Mexico. There's massive investment in Mexican tourism industry, and last year was the year of the UK and Mexico in the UK, which is a big charter signed by both countries' governments to promote their country in the other country. Wow. So you're going to see a lot of tourists going over to Mexico this year. Costa Rica is another one. Sri Lanka.
Wow.
Yeah. Costa Rica acts as a gateway for the whole of Central America, a bit like Heathrow does for the whole of Europe. Wow. So you'll see lots of people fly into Costa Rica and then visit that country in itself, but also then fly down to the rest of Central and South America. Sri Lanka is another one, and Cuba. Lots of flights are being added to Cuba, and this is probably the year to get into Cuba before the kind of Western countries and the Western companies really come in and start to kind of change the makeup of it. So this is the time, if you want to visit a real kind of authentic Cuba, then you want to do that as soon as possible. So I think you're going to see a lot of people going to Cuba this year.
A friend of mine has just come back. He went for New Year and he said exactly what you said. Not just the cars, he said, everything about it is perfect. The beaches, the people, everything. But you can see as the money starts to come in, the American thing breaks down, it's going to be like any other holiday resort. He said, now's the time to go. I think you're right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of capacity being put on into Cuba. So this is a year anyone who's interested in Cuba should definitely try and go as soon as they can.
Is the Far East dropping away a bit because you didn't mention that in your thing, or is that still popular, or have we sort of done that and we're going South America? It's quite a new venture for this country.
Yeah, I think as far as capacity is concerned for the industry, it's that side. It's going over to Central and South America, and now, I mean, the Far East will still be popular. China is actually one country that's expected to see a growth in real growth in UK tourists this year. Again, there's been trade delegations from both sides going over, and a real investment in trying to promote both tourism industries from UK to China and China to the UK. That's seen. It's so much easier now to get a visa to China than it's been in recent years, and also the capacity to China from Manchester actually has massively increased for this year. So you'll see a lot more tourists going over to China, and also vice versa.
I think it's one of the things about booking holidays. We do get inundated in January from the industry, quite rightly, really. But part of the excitement is not actually going on it; it's kind of looking forward to it, isn't it? And is that something the industry try and do because they want you to pay as much as you can up front, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure if that's the case, but yeah, you're right as far as the excitement. You know, I mean, and that's why today's such an important day for the industry and the whole of January, because it isn't just that week, is it? It's the uplift that it gives us, and the noddies that you've got something to look forward to, and we all need something to look forward to, don't we? Particularly
absolutely.
in January.
In general terms, is the travel industry healthy at the moment?
Yeah, it seems healthy. I think it's healthy. As I say, more and more people are travelling, and more people are travelling more often. Yeah. So if you look at it from a global perspective, there was more than 1 billion trips last year for the third year in a row.
Wow.
And it's expecting to be nearly 2 billion by the end of the decade. Incredible. So we're travelling more, and more people are travelling more. But as I say, going back to the early comment, obviously there's so many variations and so many issues that are outside of the travel companies' controls, which we've already discussed, which is why those 6 weeks during the school holidays are so important to them.
Paul, where can my listeners go to get some information on what we just talked about? Is there a website?
Yeah, go to WTMLondon.com.
WTMLondon.com. Paul, an absolute delight to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time.
You too. Thanks very much.
Bye-bye. Cheers.